Hey, it's Sierra here. This video is just about our graphing of data lab packet. For some of you who don't have a lot of experience with Excel, I might be able to help. So I made this video. I'm just going to send it. I know Miss Mines went over it in class, but there was a lot of information to grasp that day, so I thought I would just show. The first thing is go ahead and type out your data that she already gives you in your packet, as I've already done here. And the second thing is you want to take and hold down your left click on your mouse and just highlight all of your data. And you go to Insert, and we have recommended charts, they've got bar graphs, you can choose from statistic charts, pivot charts, all of these confusing things. All she wants, and she says in her packet, is that she wants the scatter chart. So we're just going to go to a basic scatter chart. And as you can see, it already takes all of your information and populates it into a nice little graph. I can't see anything, so I make it as big as possible. You can do what you like. Me personally, I decided that the year was the independent variable and the mass was the dependent variable. And the reason being is that the year can be controlled and changed by the experimenter, which is the independent variable, whereas the property that changes in respect to the independent variable is the dependent variable. So when I change the year, the mass changes. That's not necessarily the case in reverse. And the very thing she says is that the dependent variable goes on the y-axis or the vertical axis, and the independent variable goes on the x-axis or the horizontal axis. If for some reason you type these backwards, or the Excel you're using just gets them wrong and you want to switch them, you can simply, under Chart Tools and Design, so say if it looks like this, you've got your chart here, click on your chart and it'll automatically pull up Chart Tools. Click, you can go from Format to Design. You want to be on Design. Under here in Data, you can switch your column and your row, and it changes what's going on here. But I personally, this is how I felt that it should be, but you can change it up here under Switch Row / Column. Another thing that you can do is you can come over here to Axes under Add Chart Element, and you can go to More Axis Options. And if you don't like how your units here on your x-axis are, say I know on my hand-drawn chart I went by 1 year because it was easier for me to show it. But here it goes every 5 years, and you can change that here. You can just type in 1, but you would have to make your chart really big on Excel for that to look right. So I just prefer to have the 5 increments that it already just automatically gives you. But you can change it if you don't like it, or if you feel like there's something else that you want to do. So you can just exit out of that. The next thing that you can do is change your chart title to whatever you feel like the chart should be called. If it isn't populating that, you can go over here to your Add Chart element under the Chart Tools Design, and you can go to Chart Title, and you can insert one above the chart or overlay the chart. That's completely up to you what you like to do. But I like above it. It looks clean cut. And the next thing she needs us to do, she wants you to add axis titles. So you can just go to Add Chart Axis Titles, the horizontal and the vertical. It'll do both. And then you can come down here and change. I'm simple. I just called it years. And then I changed this one. It's important with on a chart with something that's not obviously what the unit of that object is for in your title to make sure that it's known. So like I did mass, comma, G for grams, so that she knows that this is grams and that these, and obviously these are years without having to, but I named that year. So I can name this mass, but what is the unit that we're measuring mass in? So I went ahead and labeled it G. She said in class, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, that she wants us to hand draw all of the trend lines, but if you don't want to hand draw them, that's up to you. You can do like this or just whichever one, and that's under add chart element down the row to trend line. But since I feel like she made it very clear that she didn't want that, I just printed mine off and hand drew my trend line. So you can change the colors if you want, change how it looks, whatever you'd like to do. I keep it really basic because you're going to have to print it off anyways, and if you have a black and white printer, colors can sometimes distort the way things look. So second off, I don't like showing my data when I print off the graph, but that's up to you. So I just kind of drag this and hover it over my data, and then you can't even see it. For instance, when you go to File, Print, Preview. Now here's the thing, you see how this in Print Preview shows that my graph is being cut off? You want to make sure that you get that in Landscape Orientation. See, it fixes that issue. So now your chart is all on the paper and it looks good. You can also go back into Page Layout and you can change your orientation to Portrait or Landscape at the beginning or even at the end before you print. Something else if you want to do, now this little line here is showing that's where your page will be cut off in Landscape Orientation. So you can just butt your chart up against that and show your date and mass when you print. For instance, you can come over here and show your data. But me personally, Miss Meinzer knows what data she gave us and it's already shown in the chart. So I just cover that and I printed it like this, and then I hand drew my trend line after I printed it. And then you can do the same thing. I'm not sure if we were supposed to make an Excel graph for our second set of data for the Boyle's Law, but I'm pretty sure she wanted one. So you can just use the same Excel workbook you're working in. Click this, hit delete on your keyboard, it'll get rid of it. And then just retype in, just so you know what you're looking at here. Hold on, let me look. I forget what, I think it's MMHG or something like that. Yes. So you can do it like this. And then tab over, and you can do volume. And another thing is whenever you're using Excel, if you can't see all of your titles or like it seems to be going over into the next column, hover over between two columns here in this little grid line, and when you see these arrows with the block, just double click and it will automatically just kind of expand so you can see everything you wrote in that box. Then you can just go ahead and hold your left clicker down and delete all your data and add your next data in. And then just repeat what we did there. If you have any questions, just email me, holler at me, just whatever you'd like to do. Thanks. I hope this helps.